Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all having a great day. And if you're new to the channel and want to hit the subscribe button, that would be awesome. And if you're liking the content I'm composing, be sure to hit the like button too. It helps me out immensely. It's been another long 10 days since I last put out a video. Again, just been incredibly busy with work, inside work. Today we are finally, after 2 weeks, picking up the Skyline from Eden Customs. And the last video, if you remembered, I dropped off the car to get my spoon racing rigid collar set put in the front and rear. And also we got the polyurethane rear subframe bushings from GK Tech, and I'm incredibly stoked to take the Skyline on some back roads and just feel how much more amplified the suspension is. A huge shout out to, again, Eden Customs for always taking care of me. I'll send some pictures of the job right here. So as you can see, had to remove the subframe, the drive shaft, the exhaust, but everything now is bolted up and aligned perfectly from what Edwin told me. So again, incredibly stoked. And also we have a bunch of parts that came in last week as well. Let me just give you an update on those. A big shout out again to System Motorsports for always taking care of me. We got the Brid Racing tuning pad. These sit right where your tailbone would be, and for my old man back, this should help me, I would say, be more comfortable in the Brid Racing seat. So we're gonna be taking those with us when we're driving the Skyline back to the house. Next on our list, my Takata Racing harnesses came in for the Skyline. I went with the Drift 3s. These are beautiful and of great quality. I got these off of their site directly, and I also got the driver's side and the passenger side there. So this should be a very fun install, and I need it because the OEM seatbelt now just doesn't really work for me, and of course I will be significantly safer for running these. And I had to get black. I didn't want to get all green because it just wouldn't go with the color scheme of my interior. And to accommodate the Takata Racing harnesses, I went with Brahms Universal 55 to 75 millimeter harness bar. Nothing crazy, nothing special. This will just sit in between the C-pillar. These are adjustable. This will go on the bottom of the OEM seatbelt bracket, and then these on top. So I'm stoked to do this. All they had was a satin black, so I might run to O'Reilly's and get like a very glittery rainbow clear coat and give everything a nice spray down. So that's pretty much all the parts that came for the Skyline last week. A lot more piled up on our to-do list, but I'm stoked because I need to get the Skyline where I want it by the end of this month and or the beginning of November, because the holidays are just around the corner, and once the holidays hit, I'm gonna have no more free time due to work, but we are almost there. Also, update on the BN Sports Kit. John should have everything ready for me by the end of either this week or the beginning of this week, which I'm stoked. I still told him to take his time because I already got a lot of parts to install on the Skyline and the Prelude as well. So let's go check out the Prelude. I will hopefully have a Prelude video for you guys this weekend, because after 2 long months, Stop Tech finally sent me my replacement rotor. We got the rears, we got the pads, and also my steel braided lines are finally, again after 2 months, coming in. Instead of the Stop Tech they were out of stock of, I went with Goodrich. Read up on them, they make a lot. They had a lot of good reviews, and they're still stainless steel. So I will be hopefully installing those this weekend, providing I get all my Skyline content knocked out. Also, my work Rezacs are still for sale. Be sure to hit me up, negotiate on price, because if I cannot sell these, I'm going to be redoing the lips to a nice brushed face with a clear coat. Get some air out action for you guys. Ohayou gozaimasu. McGriddles and hash browns start our morning. Breakfast is served. So before we head down to Eden's to pick up the Skyline, right now we're going to be installing a windshield banner from Rare Breed on Warren's 350Z. Windshield banner is on. Not too bad for our first try. Would have been easier if we had some 9+ tape, but overall I think we did like a B+, A job. She's back. Dirty as hell. Oops. That's okay. Nice. Looks good. All right, ready for our first drive. Went ahead and installed the Brid cushions here for my old man bag. Pretty spicy in here. Let the Skyline warm up a little bit, and we'll take the back roads home. Warren and I made it back home safely. Again, a huge shout out to Eden Customs for all you do for my friends and I. Thank you so much. Skyline's handling has improved again, another tenfold. I cannot emphasize that enough. You can definitely tell with the rear polyurethane subframe bushings, the ride is, it's not rough, but it definitely is stiffer. The steering response is much sharper, and I would say yes, the front subframe too does feel a lot stiffer with the rigid collards, so definitely worth the money and definitely worth the upgrade. My stainless steel lines for the Prelude finally came in, so now we have all of the brake components, so we'll be doing that job hopefully this weekend. As of right now, I'm just gonna go ahead and tackle on the rear quarter panel job, seeing if I have to roll the rear guard a little bit more or not, and or pull, because I really want to get these T7Rs on. And also Warren's friend does want to do a little photo shoot and he wants to see the Skyline. All right, I got one T7R on, fully torqued down. Originally when I first rolled this side after I lowered it, I did previously roll it quite a bit with no pull from like the end of here to pretty much like down here, which is a little bit excessive, but it works. Plenty of clearance on top, so when the rear end compresses, everything should tuck right under, but I don't think the Skyline will tuck, say, this 2 fingers length for the rear to hit the lip. But the accents, if you can get that blue center cap with the blue lugs, the blue gray paint, oh my god, looks so good. A little bit of poke, never hurt anybody. Some cambies in the rear to fit them. Eventually I'm going to have to do a nice pull in the rear if I want to zero out or get closest to zero with this camber, but we'll wait until another day. But these look great. Again, this is an 18 by 9.5 plus 12 offset. So before I put the wheel on, I just want to show you the GK Tech polyurethane bushing. There are 4 of them, but here's the most visible. As you can see on top here, it is protruding out about 9 to 10 millimeters, thus dropping the subframe and making the car have better roll center of gravity. But their install was very successful. You can see one down here that I'm using. Came out great. And again, Skyline is driving great. I'm gonna go ahead and pop on the other wheel and see where we're sitting. Hopefully I don't have to make any more adjustments to the rear guard. All right, just got done putting the other T7R on. My Skyline's body is weird because the driver's side is a little bit sunken in, and then the passenger side is a little bit protrudes out like ever so slightly. Because there's more poke on this side, and it's not the wheel, It's always been the body of the Skyline, even from day one, and even with the upgraded bushings and the rigid collards, the subframe is now like as aligned as it possibly can be. Because if you can tell there, a little bit of poke, and then here you see a lot more poke. And in terms of fitment, everything is still good. Just a little bit closer on this side, but hopefully we shouldn't run into any issues. So far so good. These look amazing. I can't wait to get the BN Sports kit back so the wheels will complement the kit. And then again, once we get the D-Max guards on, we can throw the Kiwamis on, and the Skyline's exterior will be pretty much completed. Bringing out the Z, the Nissan's cruising together. Oof. I know it looks a little bit ratchet because no gas cap, big wheels on a small car, but guys, just wait till the kit is on. It does look a little bit weird, huh? I like that accent though.
Are you able to put your bumper on?
Just met up with Zach and Ryan, taking photos of Warren Z. Also be heating up the Skyline and also their Subies. It's currently walking around town right now, finding locations. Just about to wrap up our little photo shoot. Hanging out with the boys. Skyline's driving great. The angle kit really comes in handy in tight spots. Also in terms of fitment and rubbing, I think we are A-okay. What's funny is the wheel is actually really dusty now. And this side as well, no rubbing issues. We are back home from the shoot. Ryan and Zach, if you're watching the vlog, thank you so much for hanging out. It was a pleasure meeting you, and thank you, Zach, for the photos. I cannot wait to see how they turned out. Sorry I didn't film too much other than the cinematics. We were just all getting to know each other, but we were home safe. Warren and I were kind of boogieing down on our way home. But before I close out the vlog, currently planning the next video, making sure I can get the harness bar installed since it is a universal application. So this part on the seatbelt cover pops up, which will expose the bolts, and then we got the bolt below to the seat belt. I did my best one-handing, making sure that everything lines up, and so far everything looks good. And this bar is fully adjustable too, so we'll have to adjust, of course, accordingly. So I'm stoked with that, and I've been also watching videos on how to tie racing harnesses, which I will show you. I'll do my absolute best, but there are plenty of videos out there that show you how to tie a racing harness. And I want to try to knock out that harness install tomorrow after work, because this weekend I definitely want to throw out some Prelude content for you guys. Like I mentioned earlier, we finally got our stainless steel braided brake lines, and we already got the rotors, the pads, the .4 fluid for the Prelude, and I also may have a potential buyer for the Work Rezacs. And now I'm thinking I kind of don't want to sell them, but I'll display everything else by ear. But again, thank you everybody so much for your continuous support. And if you're new to the channel, want to hit the subscribe button, that'd be awesome. And remember, aim high, drive low. We'll catch you next video. Take care.